So first off, I'm going to apologize to every Lord Ozai fan in the Avatar The Last Airbender community because I'm about to put him on prod watch this video. I know a lot of people like to gauge the strength of Korra's villains by comparing them to Lord Ozai, but when you do, you'd find that there's no comparison. Korra's villains were just too jacked. I mean, we had Amon, who not only could bloodbend anytime he wants without the need of a full moon, but can also take away bending. We had Unalaq, who was essentially a dark avatar. We had freaking Zahir, an airbender, a villainous airbender, who could not only take away people's oxygen and ability to breathe, but can also fly. And we had Kuvira, a metal bending prodigy, who could control a giant robot that had a spirit energy cannon that could wipe out cities. Yeah, Korra was dealing on freaking super difficulty mode, while Aang, he's still a super powerful, super great avatar, but had it really easy with Lord Ozai. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how even if Avatar Aang wasn't around, how other people could have still faced off and win against Lord Ozai. But first, if y'all going to be enjoying this video, if y'all are Avatar The Last Airbender fans, Avatar Legend of Korra fans, if y'all like the videos I make and want to see me make more, then please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with other Avatar fans, and ring that notification bell so you know first when videos like this gets dropped and made. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the list of characters who I believe, if Aang had died in his series, could have still faced off and win against Lord Ozai. First up, the scenario as to why Aang can't fight Lord Ozai in this alternate reality. And that scenario would be him actually dying from the lightning blast he received from Azula, and Katara failing to bring him back to life, even with the spirit water and, water bending healing. So, in these scenarios, Aang is dead because that back shot from Azula actually succeeded in killing him. In which case, we still got to deal with Lord Ozai, because once that Sozin Comet hits, the waterbenders are going to be fried, or the earthbenders are going to be fried. Another nation is going to be genocided. And so, the first alternate I propose could take down Lord Ozai is Katara. Katara mainly because she's a prodigious waterbender who I see in this alternate reality having no restrictions and having nothing holding her back from fully learning the art of bloodbending from Hama and becoming a master in it. It would only take one full moon before the day of Sozin's Comet for her to severely catch the Fire Nation lacking, because there's no defense against bloodbending. Like, unless you're the Avatar, you're going to be caught up by it, and especially if it's by someone as prodigious as Katara. And think about this. What if Katara taught other waterbenders bloodbending? What if, because of the hate for the Fire Nation being so strong, especially now with them losing their best chance, the Avatar, against, defeating them, that waterbenders just decide to learn bloodbending as their best chance of defeating the Fire Nation, and Katara rolls in with an army of bloodbenders during a full moon, and they just severely low diff the Fire Nation, and then Lord Ozai is trying to fight against them. Azula just abandons it. She already knows this is a losing battle, but she abandons them. Lord Ozai is trying to fight to his last breath, and that's what ends up happening, because I could see Katara just bloodbending him into submission. But that's just one scenario. Another scenario of a person being able to beat Lord Ozai is Zuko, because Zuko would have actually killed Lord Ozai, or at least severely wound him for other people to kill, if he had just redirected the lightning that Ozai threw at him at Ozai's face. Because Ozai wasn't trying to wound Zuko when he shot that lightning at him. He was like, okay, so you're fully betraying your blood, your family, the Fire Nation. I sent you off, banished you, and never wanted to see you again, so I gave you an impossible task of searching for the Avatar, but you return, and you're saying you are just, you're going to defeat me? Okay, yeah, then I'm done with you. I never even wanted to have you in the first place. So when he threw that lightning at Zuko, it was a straight up kill shot, and because he didn't know Zuko had learned the ability to redirect lightning from Uncle Iroh. So when Zuko redirected it at him, he could have just straight up killed Ozai right there, but he chose to spare him because he felt like his his destiny wasn't to kill Ozai, it was to help the Avatar in defeating him, and that's what ended up happening. But I feel like if Zuko in this alternate scenario, especially with knowing that the Avatar died, was like, okay, yeah, this is the best chance anyone's gonna have at defeating the Fire Lord, I'm gonna just take you out right now. That would have been it for Ozai, and yeah, the armies would have fought against the Fire Nations. You know, they still would have been a pretty difficult threat, especially with Sozin's comment, but hey, at least Ozai would have been defeated, so that would have been like a critical hit. And another person, or in this case a group, I could have seen defeating Lord Ozai would have been the White Lotus. Yes, Uncle Iroh and the other elite benders / warriors that made up the White Lotus. I mean, you had King Bumi, you had Taku, you had John, you had Master Piandao, and you had Uncle Iroh. Like, these 5 were extreme savages that, thank God, were on the side of Team Avatar, that were their allies and mentors. Because, bro, if all of them were villains, if all of them were like the Red Lotus from Legend of Korra, then bruh, Team Avatar probably would have been packed up. Because Jesus, like, the immense power boost that Uncle Iroh gets from Sozin's Comet, even though he was already a master firebender / tactician / warrior, and then you add on the other prodigious benders and warriors like Master Piandao with his elite sword skills, freaking John with his prodigious firebending, Taku with his masterful waterbending, King Bumi with his extremely powerful earthbending. Yeah, if they all had decided to go at the Fire Nation instead of trying to take back Ba Sing Se, bro, I think it could have been wraps for Ozai. Because I feel like if Aang did die in this alternate scenario, Uncle Iroh would have been like, okay, I guess we got no choice. We gotta make Ozai our top priorities. And if they all went at him, bruh, it would have been a battle that would have looked like a brick. I mean, it already did look like a Dragon Ball battle with Aang versus Ozai, but it would have been even more of a spectacle with 5 people jumping one guy. Yeah. I would have loved to see that. But yeah, that's why I also feel like Uncle Iroh and the White Lotus could have packed up Lord Ozai. And the last person I could see defeating Lord Ozai in Aang's place would have to be Azula. And some of you might be asking, or most of you might be asking, why? Because isn't Azula on Ozai's side? That's his daughter. Why would she betray her father? Well, I feel in this alternate scenario that Azula wouldn't have gone insanely crazy. The thing is, she's always been a crazy character for approval. She's always wanted it from her mother, never got it. She's always wanted it from her father and was extremely loyal to him and extremely efficient in everything she did to make sure she had won it from her father. But I feel like, you know, Azula is a very strategic, tactical, and intelligent person, which is why she's always been an effective enemy, effective, dangerous antagonist. And if she had it in her head that it's like, why am I taking orders from this guy? I'm the one who killed the Avatar. I'm the one who's getting things done while he's like sitting in his chamber just doing nothing. I feel like she would have had it in her mind that she could run the Fire Nation way better than he ever could. So she would take the opportunity of having her power be, you know, extremely maxed out thanks to Sozin's Comet, and then she would, you know, betray her father, like, you know, maybe doing a backshot the way she did with Aang, or just straight up attacking him, like straight up calling him out and saying, yeah, I challenge you to an Agni Kai. Whoever wins lives and rules the Fire Nation as well as the world. And you might be saying, well, isn't Lord Ozai the strongest firebender? Well, I'm like, I've always been a big believer that Azula was more powerful because her flames are naturally the hottest version of fire, blue flames. And she was born a prodigious firebender. Not only that, but I've always had a feeling that Lord Ozai's kids were always stronger than him. I mean, there's always been hints and signs of that, where Zuko never tried fighting back at Lord Ozai because that was his father. So he just took those burns. And even when he was in the chamber, he could have killed Lord Ozai after learning how to redirect lightning, but, you know, chose to spare him. Zuko fought against Azula and won, mainly because Azula was going into crazy mode, and it's been stated that in crazy mode, Azula's firebending is actually weaker because she's not really, you know, on her A game the way she normally is. So I feel like if Azula wasn't insane, she could have packed up Zuko. She could have wiped him off like a booger, but she was, and that's why she was defeated by him and Katara. But I feel like Azula, if she was like straight on her A game, not going insane, not being crazy, she could have not only packed up Zuko, but also Lord Ozai. But yeah, those are my 5 alternate characters, slash one of them being a group, of who could have defeated Lord Ozai if Avatar Aang wasn't around to do so. Which, the fact that there are so many kind of puts in question why Lord Ozai is the final boss of the Avatar The Last Airbender series. I mean, I know why he's the final boss, but like, if you ask the same questions of Korra's villains, being like, could any other character defeat them besides Korra, and you find that it's not the same. There are barely any other characters that could have went. I mean, Kuvira, yes, there are a lot of characters that could have taken her down. But when we're talking about Zahir, Unalaq, and Amon, yeah, they were lucky to have Korra be there to defeat them. So, yeah, it kind of puts Ozai in Fraud Watch because of the fact that there are so many other characters that could have been able to take him down. But hey, you give me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you have your thoughts as to why Lord Ozai couldn't have been defeated by other people besides Aang. And yeah, thank you for watching to the end. Again, like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more Avatar videos like this. I've been your King of Theories. Till the next Avatar video, peace.